is up? It's your boy ErzaTitaniaWins back with my next video, and this time I'm going to give you my impressions of playing the Avengers Beta. And before I get into that, I always like to give a little insight about me and my personal knowledge on what I'm playing or what I'm talking about. But I am a huge fan of superheroes. I absolutely love them. I grew up with them, and this time more than ever, I have been absolutely blessed by having so much content of superheroes, especially in movies or shows or whatnot. But unfortunately, it seems like video games, this is a little mini rant here, just doesn't seem to get the same respect. Like outside of Batman and Spiderman, because we had so many solo Batman and Spiderman games, it seems like just overall superhero games in general just get the short end of the stick. They're either fighter games or they're just absolutely terrible. And I just like thinking, this time now more than ever, once the superhero genre is at its most popular, why don't we have more good superhero games? And so I have a lot of hope for this game, and obviously I get the you know, a lot of people being a little bit nervous, and because for one thing, you know, Square Enix is behind that, and I can definitely understand that because they don't have the greatest track record sometimes. And obviously with superhero games in the past, and then the whole thing behind, you know, all the live service stuff, etc. So I get it, but I'm one of those guys, I'm pretty easygoing, so as long as I can have fun, you know, play some of these characters, them be unique and not the same thing. Because the superhero games I can't stand the most is when you get like 50 or 60 characters and they all have like the same type of move set, and the only difference between the moveset is that the color of the explosion or something. They all feel the same after a while, and so I was really hoping that the characters feel different. I've had a chance to play with all the characters. I know I didn't get a chance to play too much with Cap and Thor because they were only in the prologue mission, not the actual beta. So during this beta you had Kamala Khan, Black Widow, Hulk, and Iron Man. I had a little time to play with all of them, and they all feel different. And I think it's going to be a thing in this game. I feel like the non-powered characters, the characters don't have a lot of superpowers, like, you know, Black Widow and Captain America, are probably going to be the funnest to play with for me personally, because I definitely had a blast with Black Widow, and me being a diehard Black Widow fan, I'm definitely not going to complain with that. But it's felt like I had more variety how I moved around with them compared to like someone like the Hawk, where, you know, obviously he's supposed to smash, but I just felt like he was such a big tub of you know what, and it's just like I couldn't move or had the variety with them. It was just the same old pound and smash, and I get it, they're all technically like that, but I just felt like with someone like Black Widow, I can swing around with the grapple, I can shoot far with the guns, I can get up close with the baton, I can go stealth, invisible. It was more fun just to play with that character. I also had fun playing with Kamala Khan, and I also, even though it took me a while to get used to it, I did enjoy Iron Man too, but I didn't feel like any of the characters were bad, but I just preferred I definitely prefer Black Widow, and the small time I had with Cap, I definitely liked the shield thing, throwing it and ricocheting off everybody. But overall, the combat, it's a lot of fun, especially when you get your whole group of team just beating the hell out of some people. And obviously, when you beat up people, you can drop loot and you get some good equipment, legendary stuff. Well, I didn't get any legendary stuff, but I got epic stuff. And look, there's a Hulkbuster suit you can come in sometimes. And by the way, just a little fun fact, or like just a question out there for everybody, is the person who's talking when the Hulkbuster suit comes in, like this weird voice comes in, and I'm just like, it sounds so similar to, like, it sounds like a Deadpool type voice. I don't know if that's like intentional or I'm just like smoking something, which could be very well possible, but I was just curious about that because every time I hear it, it just sounds like Deadpool talking to you or whatnot. But anyway, the combat's fun, but it does have one little problem, and it does get kind of bad to see visually, is when you get into a massive brawl, it just feels like the frame rate it gets so choppy, and sometimes you just can't tell what the hell is going on, and visually that could be a nightmare to look at. But you know, the combat's fun, I can't say it's not. I like fighting, swinging around and grappling people, but it's just something I can forgive. It's not great, and I can see a lot of people getting complaining, so if you don't like that, it's probably not going to be a very good experience for some people. But I'm just one of those guys, I'm pretty easygoing. It's not going to be enough to ruin to me, because obviously I hear a lot of complaints or comparisons, I should say, with this and like something like Destiny and Anthem. But you gotta understand the difference between Destiny and Anthem is the fact that Destiny and Anthem were just using random characters that no one knew two craps about. This is superheroes. You know, people like the Avengers, they like the characters, and I can definitely get behind. If it's the same concept, but with these characters, I definitely give it a lot more leeway than compared to some random traveler or something like that. And I don't know what this DNA key is. I just kept finding some chests like that randomly about the place, but I guess it's only for the main game, or I just didn't find one or unlock it or whatnot. But you know, obviously, you know, you got the story with the Avengers breaking up, and you know, you gotta find them again, and hopefully we'll get more missions where it's specifically for that specific Avenger, because you have this war table where you have all these drop points. You drop in, you can drop in your friends, and even if you don't have friends, the AI, which is what happened in this game, will play for you, and they'll basically, whatever level that character is that's on the mission, that's the AI, not you playing, that'll be what they were playing with there. So obviously I haven't played too much of the other characters too much, so they're going to be that level and the way I level them up exactly. So even if you don't have people playing with you, you can still have the AI, so I think that's cool, and so you don't feel alone. It's better to have a whole team of 4 than by yourself. But I didn't really test too much the difficulty, but there were a few times where it got a little crazy and out of hands. But obviously the higher difficulty I don't mind, as long as the reward is worth it. And I did get some good rewards, like this mission here. I got a pretty good reward, and I'll show you what I got and upgrade it later on. But obviously you want the loot, and the loot system is similar to any game. If you ever play like Destiny or Borderlands or, you know, something like that, you get higher level gear and you can, you know, upgrade it, level it up or something like that. You know, the same old type of thing. And as I said, I only got as high as purple. I don't know if I got anything higher than that, but and I failed this mission badly. Like, I mean, I didn't fail it, but I kept messing it up, and it gives me multiple opportunities to figure it out, but just trying to get the vault key and the numbers. But in terms of the mission variety, most of them are kind of, I can see it getting a little monotonous, where it's just like, you know, defend the point. They got a little like ABC domination mixed in there. This one was like a vault key thing where you had to get the combinations for the vault, which I thought was, you know, cool, just to break up the monotony a little bit. But and then in terms of enemy types, it's mostly, you know, either robots or people in these suits, but they also got like ailment things where they can slow you down, and they get pretty crazy, especially when they all converge and you're trying to dodge them all, and it just gets madness. They can stun you, blind you. It can get absolutely ridiculous. And I love this baton though with Black Widow. This can definitely mess up a lot of people here, and obviously Hulk coming in helping out is a big plus too. But overall, just the most important thing to me is the combat. It's fun. You can have a lot of fun with the combat, especially get a bunch of friends and just mix mash. And obviously when we get the whole game, we get all the characters. Hopefully, you know, they add some more characters. Obviously, you know, Spider-Man, and he's going to be coming. Hawkeye's going to be coming. Hawkeye's probably going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully they add a magical person like a Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch, and maybe an Ant-Man or something like that. But eventually we do get inside this vault and we get the loot. As I said, it doesn't matter these missions, because one of my biggest problems I had with other games like Destiny is like I felt like you would do these missions and you wouldn't get anything. But this mission did promise a purple rated gear, so I did get that. So hopefully the main game will give me good loot and I get rewarded for it, because that's the one thing I hate about these type of games, is when you bust your ass doing these hard ass missions and you just don't get rewarded for it. You know, I'm not doing this hard just for the sake of being hard. I want to get something out of it, and you get a bunch of chests here and then you get the big one here. But overall, I can see myself playing this game for a while. I understand people's, you know, right to be a little cautious about it, and I get it. You know, I'm not blind to it, but at the end of the day, I'm just playing games to have fun, and if I can have fun, a good time. And I think it comes from the fact that I just want better superhero games. I want more of them. I'm just like, personally, Batman and Spiderman are my two favorite superheroes, but I've been spoiled rotten with them. Like, how many Batman and Spiderman games can you possibly make? Can you give other people a chance? What is so hard about it? I just don't understand this, and why it's so hard to make other characters and whatnot. So hopefully this can open a door. Obviously you got this, we got the Suicide Squad game coming out, which we'll learn more later on this month. But overall, I was definitely not disappointed, and I feel like the whole negativity behind it is a little bit overblown, but you know how it is on the internet. Everything is either the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever, and it's never what it really is, probably in between. But there's my skill tree, which I upgrade. I definitely love the pistols for Black Widow. Definitely can mess people up because it can be like a single shot or a really powerful shot, or like kind of like machine gun replicas basically. And then here's the stuff you get, which you can upgrade and raise your power gauge, and obviously it's color coded by the rarity of it, and it'll tell you the effects. It might raise your attack for heavy attack or light attack, or might add an element to your attack, and etc, etc. You also, I don't think it's that purple vest, I think it's a purple belt I get. But also, like, when you read where it came from, obviously it's Pym Industries. You also got Hammer Industries, Stark Industries. So obviously if you're a big Marvel fan, you can notice what those companies are. But it's pretty dead on, pretty self-explanatory stuff here. Equip, and you gotta have the right materials to upgrade it, and etc. But simple stuff, but it makes sense. And obviously the stuff you don't use, you can dismantle it and get more materials to upgrade the rest of your stuff, and it'll tell you your stats in the top here. And I'm just messing around with it because once this beta is over, this stuff, it doesn't carry over to the actual game, so I'll have to re-get it all over again, which maybe they could give me a little edge. I don't expect everything I have, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather start from scratch anyway, but just getting rid of this shit. But you also have minor artifacts here. I didn't find a major artifact. I don't know what one of them is. I don't even know if one was available in this beta. Maybe it is, but I probably missed it, knowing my ass. But yeah, then you obviously have your cosmetics, and I pretty much got all the cosmetics for Black Widow, and obviously I gotta rock the red. Gotta love the red and black combination. You got your emotes there, your name cards you can put up. They're usually from famous comic images, the characters, collections. You can collect intelligence files, codex on obviously the enemies, types you encounter. But you can also collect other cool collectibles like comics, like actual comics from that were written, and it'll tell you like who wrote them, what year was it, the writers behind it, what issue it was. And just being a big comic guy and superhero fan, this is something that I personally like a lot. And you can see what issue it is. You can collect the whole set. I almost got the whole set of the Hulk, but I'm missing one. And then sometimes the thing just won't show. I don't know what happened there with the Miss Marvel issue. And here's Black Widow. A little fun fact, that issue right there, I had the writer Phil Noto and I forget the Edmondson, I forget his first name, but that those two guys actually came to my local comic shop, and I got them to sign those Black Widow issues, as well as get a little sketch from one of them. So that was a pretty cool moment. But yeah, Iron Man doesn't want to show either. But it's just a little cool little thing there, just for us comic people and stuff like that. But bottom line, if you are just wondering what my opinion, do I think it's worth a buy or whatnot, if you want that. If you're not a big superhero fan, then you're probably not going to get the most out of it. Because it's kind of similar with Destiny. I don't think Destiny's a bad game. It's nowhere near a bad game. But I just feel like having that practically no story and boring characters, non-existent characters, kind of hurt that overall. But the difference here is I know all these superheroes, so I have a little extra motivation to want to play with them and keep going with them. And obviously, how many games am I going to play that I know of that I can play and kick ass as Black Widow, one of my all-time favorite Marvel superheroes, my second only behind Spider-Man. But not just her, but obviously other characters like the Iron Mans and Captain Americas, and hopefully we'll see others in the future. But there's not too many games, because as I said, they just don't have too many good superhero games. And if I can just run around, play one of these characters, and use their abilities and feel a little bit like them and be badass about it, I'll definitely take that. So if you are a crazy superhero fan, you'll probably get a lot more enjoyability out of it compared to someone who doesn't really care too much about superheroes. But that is going to be it. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and let me know what you guys think of the Avengers Beta. Thanks for watching, have a good night, and I'll see you back on the next video. Peace.